Trevor Reed, a 30-year-old former Marine who's been detained in Russia for 2.5 years. Reed was detained by Russian police in the summer of 2019 following a drunken party in Moscow where he was visiting his girlfriend. Police initially said that they were taking him in to sober him up, but Reed was then questioned by Russian intelligence and soon after was charged with assaulting an officer. His family has called the charges trumped up and in recent weeks have been raising their concerns about their son's health. And we are joined tonight by Trevor's family, his mother, Paula, his father, Joey, and his sister, Taylor. To the entire Reed family, we thank you so much for joining us. Paula, I'd like to start with you. You recently sent a new plea to President Biden and his wife, Jill, saying in part, from one set of military parents to another, we need your help. Only you can save his life. Have you received any response?
We actually have been asked for a meeting with President Biden while he's going to be in Fort Worth tomorrow. And we got told this afternoon that they are not going to be able to accommodate us, so we will not have a meeting with him at all.
And no response beyond that, other than that you will not have a meeting? They haven't suggested that there is any ongoing conversation?
No, they have not.
And Joey, in your mind, has the United States done enough before these tensions escalated to try to bring Trevor home?
They've well, first of all, they've spoken out about our son at all levels, including the president. We're very grateful for that. The embassy and the ambassador are fantastic. Spiha's office is fantastic. But we believe at the highest levels of our government, there's been negotiations that could have accomplished a trade, could have brought home, Trevor and Paul Whelan from Russia. But for some reason, the administration has not made those negotiations with the Russians, like both President Trump and President Obama had done.
And when we spoke last year, when President Biden and Putin met for a summit, you had hoped that Trevor's case and a potential prisoner swap would be a focus of the meeting, but little happened. Paula, I'm curious, how concerned are you that this war and the deteriorating relations with Russia will only make Trevor's release that much more difficult?
Well, we are very concerned, not just because of the war, but because of the state of physical health that he's in right now. He is coughing up blood every day. He is having chest pain, lung pain, and he's having headaches. He's just not doing well at all. And he was exposed to TB. So we're worried about him possibly having TB, but they refuse to test him and they are not giving him any kind of treatment. So that is our main focus right now. We're mostly concerned about his health. And obviously the war in Ukraine makes it seem like there would be no negotiations to be able to go on. So we're very, very concerned about his health.
And so you just said that it seems like no negotiations would be able to go on. Have you heard one way or another what the status is? Have they just kind of dropped that at this point because of the war?
No, we've been told that communications are always left open. Even during the entire Cold War, our countries were able to communicate. And so we have been told that obviously those channels are going to be minimized over normal channels, and that could create some problems. But we still have hopes. The Russians are telling everyone, they have been for years, what they wanted. And we think that some of that is possible. And we just would wish that our government would do that quickly before the war gets out of hand or before our son dies of some disease and lack of medical care.
Taylor, when is the last time that you spoke to your brother and what did he have to say?
I actually got to speak with him this morning. He called my parents on Friday for the first time in over 200 days. I've happened to be here this morning when he called again. We touched base briefly on the state of things in the Ukraine and his health and a couple of other little things, but he sounds incredibly discouraged and very disheartened. Hardly sounds like my brother at all anymore.
How difficult is it to communicate with him regularly? I know you said this is the first time he was able to call in more than 200 days.
232 days to be precise. They would not let him call anyone but his girlfriend in Moscow and his Moscow attorneys. And for some reason, since Friday, they all of a sudden allowed him to call the embassy, who then forwarded his calls to us. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, they started allowing him to be out of solitary confinement, where he'd been essentially for most of the last 7 months because he's refusing to work for his captors. So there's been some improvements in his treatment. over the last few weeks before the war even, and we're not sure why that's happening. We're happy that it is, but we don't know why.
Taylor was just expressing how disheartened he sounded on the phone. What do you guys say to try to give him some kind of words of uplift or encouragement?
Every time we get a chance to talk to him, we just remind him that we love him and we're here fighting for him and we're not going to stop. And he usually tells us that we should stop trying and to just leave him there, but we're not going to stop until he's home with us.
He feels his country's left him behind.
If you all had a moment just to talk directly to President Biden, what would you say?
We're desperate. He's the only man in the world that can bring our son home and possibly save his life. And our son's job that he volunteered extra time in the Marine Corps for and was proud of was to protect President Obama and Vice President Biden and their families, and he was willing to die for them. And we would just ask President Biden to honor that and bring this good American home who is innocent of anything other than serving his country and his president.
Paula, Joey, Taylor Reed, we thank you so much for joining us during this time.
Thank you for having us on again.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.